Good evening, and welcome to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm Nicodemus, and I will be your host as we take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. And remember, none of this is financial advice. And it's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. And welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter podcast, where we have no sponsors, no hidden agendas, and no BS. But we do have the news, so let's get to that. The International Monetary Fund has proposed a new model for cross-border currency transactions that could also be used domestically. This new system is known as the XC platform. It would operate using tokenized assets, including deposits, with or without the use of central bank digital currencies. The IMF presented the outlines of this new class of cross-border payment system at a roundtable on CBDC policy. The platform uses a single ledger to record CBDC transactions, programmability, and improved information management. The new platform could benefit individual and institutional users through lower fees and faster transaction times. It could also help central banks intervene in foreign exchange markets, aggregate information on capital flows, and resolve disputes. The platform could be adapted for wholesale and retail CBDCs as well. So anything from domestic bank-to-bank transfers to buying eggs at the grocery store, all using digital fiat. The XC platform would allow the trading of tokenized domestic central bank reserves, with liquidity coming from institutions with reserve accounts. The XC platform was designed on the model of CBDC infrastructure. It would have a settlement layer with a single ledger, and access to it would be expanded. A programming layer would offer the opportunity to innovate and customize services, while an information layer would contain anti-money laundering details needed to meet trust conditions and privacy protections. The platform would not require the use of CBDCs and would provide interoperability among assets and money tokened by the private sector. However, the IMF's push for CBDCs has received mixed reactions from the crypto community. Some members of the community have reacted strongly against the IMF's efforts to further the initiative. They argue that CBDCs would give governments complete control over individuals, describing it as a dystopian nightmare. They also see the IMF's push for CBDCs as a power grab, with the organization using issues like financial inclusion as a Trojan horse to push CBDCs forward. Now, some argue that this new platform sounds very similar to an S-coin, and that governments or the IMF should not be able to decide on what the best money is. They also express concern that this would give government agencies complete control over individuals, as they could see every transaction and allow the IMF to turn off access to their own money whenever they want. Despite these criticisms, the IMF continues to explore the potential of CBDCs and their role in the future of global finance. Moving on, the Bank for International Settlements has put forward an intriguing proposal for a unified ledger. This new infrastructure aims to integrate central bank digital currencies and tokenized assets on a single platform. Let's explore the potential implications of this proposal. Now, this is going to sound very familiar to the IMF story, but trust me, they are different proposals. The Bank for International Settlements is the central bank for central bankers. They've proposed a new type of market infrastructure that could forever change the global financial system. Much like the IMF story, this infrastructure would take the form of a unified electronic ledger, which could integrate central bank digital currencies and tokenized money and assets on a single platform. This integration would be facilitated by automated smart contracts used to power transactions on blockchains like Ethereum. The BIS believes this unified ledger could open up a wide range of possibilities by bringing together central bank money, commercial money, and different assets on the same platform. The current monetary system has its limitations, as databases need to be linked by third-party messaging systems like SWIFT. SWIFT is effectively a text messaging system back and forth between banks that sends messages about transactions. This process can lead to incomplete views of actions and delays. The proposed unified ledger could eliminate these issues. The BIS envisions that this new financial system could provide new methods for securities settlements by combining all individual steps into one transaction. It could also enable tokenized deposits with built-in regulatory checks for wholesale CBDCs. The report suggests that this system could reduce the costs of trade finance for smaller companies. The scope of the unified ledger proposed by the BIS could be broader than the similar combined platform envisioned by the IMF for CBDCs. The BIS, like the IMF, believes that a global CBDC platform could be more efficient and safer than traditional platforms. The BIS report also highlights that a unified ledger for cross-border payments would require significant policy harmonization across jurisdictions. The BIS has not yet decided on a unified ledger's technological and design aspects. However, the institution is not considering using a permissionless blockchain, even though the mechanism used for the transaction could be decentralized. The choice of technology will depend on this specific use case. It could be a decentralized system like a permissioned blockchain or a centralized system with strict controls on data confidentiality and cyber resilience. The next step in this process would be for a group of central banks to collaborate on the project under a public policy mandate. The private sector would handle most of the customer-facing activities. This collaboration between the official sector and the private sector will be a crucial aspect of the project moving forward. Shifting our focus to Slovakia, we find a proactive response to the impending introduction of a digital euro. Now, the BIS and the IMF both might not want to hear this story, because Slovakia's parliament has shown bipartisan support for legislation that protects the right to use cash as a method of payment. Let's delve into the reasons behind this move and its significance. In Slovakia, a significant move has been made in response to the impending introduction of a digital euro. The nation's parliament has shown bipartisan support for legislation that would alter the constitution to protect the right to use cash as a method of payment for goods and services. This move is seen as a reaction to the potential challenges and changes that a digital euro could bring. The digital euro is a form of digital fiat currency that the European Central Bank is considering introducing. It would exist alongside traditional cash and non-cash payments, providing an alternative to private, real cryptocurrencies and strengthening the euro's international role. However, the introduction of a digital euro has raised concerns among some who fear it would lead to a cashless society, which could have implications for privacy and freedom. In response to these concerns, Slovakia has taken steps to ensure that cash remains a valid form of payment within the country. The proposed constitutional amendment would enshrine the right to use cash as a means of payment for goods and services. This move is seen as a way to protect citizens' rights and freedoms in the face of potential changes that a digital euro could bring. This move by Slovakia is significant. It shows a proactive approach to the potential introduction of a digital euro. It also highlights the importance of cash in society and the need to protect the right to use it. Now, while some believe the digital euro could bring many benefits, such as convenience and efficiency, it is clear that there are also concerns about its potential impact. By amending its constitution, Slovakia is taking steps to address these concerns and to ensure the rights of its citizens are protected. Now, as you're going to see here in a bit, the introduction of a digital euro is still under consideration by the European Central Bank. It is not yet clear when or if it will be introduced. So this move by Slovakia to amend its constitution in response to the potential introduction of a digital euro highlights the ongoing debate about the role of digital fiat in society. While digital currencies can offer some benefits, it is clear that there are also significant concerns about their potential impact. It's important for countries to consider these issues carefully and to take steps to protect the rights and freedoms of their citizens. As the debate continues, it will be interesting to see how other countries respond to the potential introduction of a digital euro. That said, Slovakia doesn't have anything to worry about anytime soon, because in the EU, the implementation of a digital euro is facing a delay. The necessary legislation has been postponed due to leaks and concerns raised by the finance ministers. Join us as we explore the reasons behind the delay and the ongoing discussions surrounding the digital euro. The European Union has decided to postpone the legislation necessary for the implementation of a digital euro. This legislation was originally set to be published on June 28th. It addresses privacy and technical issues related to the central bank digital currency. This decision to postpone the legislation comes in the wake of a leak of the draft bill and a statement by finance ministers that seemed to challenge the rationale behind the plan. The timeline for the draft bill was meant to be published before the European Central Bank makes a final decision on whether to introduce the digital currency. This bill has been changed multiple times. At one point, it was scheduled for May. The bill was last set to be discussed and published at a meeting of the European Commission's decision-making body on June 28th, according to a preliminary agenda published in the previous week. The Commission did not provide a reason for the delay, nor did it provide a new date for the publication of the bill. The plans for the digital euro were also a topic of discussion among finance ministers from the Eurobloc at a regular meeting held on Thursday. The ministers emphasized the need to develop a compelling and clear narrative about the added value of this development for the economy and the lives of its citizens. Irish Finance Minister Pascal Donoghue, who chaired the talks, stated that ministers want to support this work, but also look at how they can further develop that narrative. The legislative text proposed to prevent banks from paying interest on digital euros. It would also prevent merchants from charging for its use. Now, last but not least, let's turn our attention to the United Kingdom, where significant progress is being made in cryptocurrency regulation. The Financial Services and Markets Bill, FSMB, has received approval from the House of Lords, marking a crucial step towards regulating cryptocurrencies. Now, what does this mean for the UK's crypto landscape? Let's find out. The UK is making huge strides in the regulation of crypto. The Financial Services and Markets Bill is a huge beast, a comprehensive document of over 340 pages. It's been approved by the House of Lords, the upper chamber of the UK Parliament. Now, this is important because it marks a crucial step towards the bill becoming law. It now moves into the final stages of the legislative process. The FSMB was initially introduced in July. It aims to leverage the freedoms granted by Brexit to give regulators more control over the UK's financial system. The original version of the bill included a proposal to regulate stablecoins under the country's payment rules. However, as the bill moved through Parliament, amendments were added to treat all cryptocurrencies as a regulated activity. Additionally, measures were introduced to supervise promotions related to cryptocurrencies. The UK Treasury has been consulting on setting crypto rules. The FSMB is expected to provide regulators with the necessary powers to do so. Economic Secretary to the Treasury, Andrew Griffith, indicated specific rules for the crypto sector could be introduced within the next 12 months. This move by the UK is seen as an attempt to catch up with the European Union, which recently finalized its Markets in Crypto Assets regulation, which is a significant focus on stablecoins. The next step for the FSMB is to be returned to the lower house of Parliament, where a final version will be agreed upon. Once both houses of Parliament agree on the document, it will be sent to the King for approval and then passed into law. This process may involve the bill being sent back and forth between the chambers of Parliament until a consensus is reached. So, you Brits could be waiting a while. The approval of the FSMB by the House of Lords is a significant step towards the recognition and regulation of cryptocurrencies in the UK. It reflects the growing acceptance of cryptocurrencies in the financial systems of major economies and the increasing need for regulatory frameworks to ensure their safe and responsible use. The next 12 months will be crucial in determining the specific rules that will govern the crypto sector in the UK. So, what happened? From the IMF's cross-border payment system to the BIS's proposal for a unified ledger, we've witnessed the potential for transformative change in the global financial system. We also delved into the preparations made by Slovakia and the European Union for the introduction of the digital euro, highlighting the delicate balance between convenience and preserving the rights and freedoms of its citizens. And let's not forget the significant strides taken by the UK in cryptocurrency regulation with the approval of the Financial Services and Markets Bill. This signifies a growing recognition of the importance of regulatory frameworks in ensuring the safe and responsible use of digital currencies. Throughout this episode, we've seen the opportunities and challenges that arise as cryptocurrencies continue to shape the future of finance. It is crucial for us, as people who care about this technology and all of its potential. We've got to stay informed, critically evaluate developments, and actively participate in the conversations surrounding the crypto landscape. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. I'm going to take just a minute to remind you to enter the covers contest by commenting on the May 23rd covers video. You might just win yourself a hardware wallet, and in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.